Daniel and I had planned a honeymoon trip for Valentine's Day long ago. But right before boarding, my ticket couldn't be found. The secretary must have used the default passenger information when booking. Canceling is expensive. So, let's just leave it. Leaving it meant I was to turn back right there, while he and his secretary went to see the ocean and walk along the beach. I did as he said, watching their plane take off from Landon to Seacliff. Then I went home and packed up all of my things. And then I accepted an offer from a university abroad and booked an international flight. The moment I got the ticket, I breathed a sigh of relief. This time, there would be no mistake with the booking. Checking in at the airport counter, I was still dreaming of our wonderful honeymoon. After a decade-long relationship, Daniel and I were finally about to turn a new, happy page after this Valentine's Day. As I handed my ID to the staff, my mind was already racing, thinking about what souvenirs to buy, what local specialties to bring back for our parents. Oh, right. Daniel loves seafood, but his father doesn't. So I'd have to be mindful of that. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but we can't find a booking under your name. Could you please double-check? What? My hopeful daydreams were shattered. I'm sorry. What did you say? I asked in disbelief. The staff member was very patient. There's no record of a ticket purchase for you. Would you like to buy one now? I was dazed, murmuring an apology. I took back my ID. I pulled out my phone and immediately called Daniel. It rang for a long time before he answered. And as soon as he did, I was met with the loud noise of an airport announcement. The flight from Landon to Seacliff is now boarding. Will all passengers please proceed to the gate in an orderly fashion? Before I could even ask him what was going on, Daniel spoke. Ella wasn't paying attention when she bought the tickets. The booking information defaulted to her name. We realized it a bit too late. And it's too expensive to cancel. Let's just leave it for this time. We're boarding now. You should head home. Home? What home? My home wasn't in Landon. I only came here because he said it was better than my hometown, that he had connections here and it was a better place to start a business. Here, I knew no one, and I couldn't get used to the environment or the climate. But love could conquer all. In the blink of an eye, I had been here for 6 years, even in this dusty, unfamiliar place. I believed it wouldn't be a wasteland. The call ended. I stood alone in the airport, clutching my phone and staring blankly into the distance. Through the glass, I saw a plane taxiing slowly on the runway. Another was taking off, soaring into the sky. Perhaps Daniel and that woman were on one of those planes, looking forward to their destination. Just as I had been moments ago, the airport was a river of people rushing, anticipating, grieving, busy, serene. The noise was deafening, a lively chaos, but the liveliness belonged to them. I had nothing. All I had was a 10-year love that had suddenly rotted. Ella, Daniel's recently hired secretary, a college student in her early 20s, always with a high ponytail, who favored white blouses with cute embroidery, even though it was hardly professional attire. She seemed to be a perpetual source of youthful energy and vitality. For a moment, I thought back to when I was 20. I suppose I was just as fearless then, eager to take on the world. What changed me? It was Daniel saying he wanted to start his own business. I still remember him holding me, exhausted, burying his head in the crook of my neck and saying sweetly, "Darling, I want to start a business. You'll support me, won't you? When I succeed and make a fortune, I'll marry you in the grandest way possible. We'll go on a honeymoon to Seacliff, to see the ocean we've both dreamed of. I'll propose to you on the beach. How big of a diamond do you want, baby?" For the sake of those ethereal promises, I stepped back and became a housewife and his support system for 5 years. Late at night, I would fight off sleep to take care of him when he came home from business dinners, to protect his stomach. My hands, which had never touched rough housework, learned to make all kinds of soups. In the early mornings, I would wake up to make him breakfast, iron his shirts, and polish his shoes so he could start his day fresh. I furiously pedaled a bike for 10 kilometers under the scorching midday sun to deliver a document for him. I also waited for over an hour outside a hotel in a blizzard to bring him a change of clothes. When did a person start to change? I returned home in a daze. I had a new friend request on my phone. It was Ella. My fingers trembled, but I eventually tapped accept. She said nothing, and neither did I. But I saw her newly updated social media post. First time in Seacliff with the person I love. I heard that if you watch the sea with the one you love, you'll be together forever. The picture was of the view from a plane window that had just landed. So, Daniel, the ocean trip you broke your promise to me for was actually a promise you made to someone else. I turned off my phone and slept like the dead. A week later, Daniel finally returned. He brought back many local specialties for his parents and gifts for his subordinates at the company. But there was nothing for me. Ella's social media was updated again. Surprise! A gold necklace and bracelet from my love. I guess only real gold reveals a true heart. What do you all think? Is this 100-gram heart heavy enough? I had seen that gold necklace in Daniel's suitcase when he first got back. At the time, my heart was filled with anticipation, thinking it was a surprise for me. I had to restrain myself from the urge to try it on. Even though I didn't like the design, I was happy, but I never imagined it wasn't for me at all. What did my likes or dislikes matter? When Daniel came back, all he did was toss me a bag of seafood. Fresh seafood from Seacliff. Make it for dinner tonight. I'll be eating at home. I don't know when he forgot that I'm allergic to seafood. I don't know how to prepare any of it. Over the years, even though he loved it, we mostly bought it pre-cooked, or his family would send some over. But when Daniel said this to me, his eyes held an air of casual bestowal, as if to say, I've already made my peace offering, so you can stop being unreasonable. I spent the entire afternoon in the kitchen. The shell of the king crab was so hard it cut my hand. In the end, I had no idea how to cook it properly, so I just steamed everything and served it. After just one bite, Daniel frowned. Evelyn, you're home all day with nothing to do, and you can't even cook a decent meal. Such fine ingredients. Completely wasted by you. Forget it. I'm not in the mood. You can eat it yourself. With that, he threw down his chopsticks and stormed out, looking at the crab leg, abandoned after a single bite. I fell into deep thought. Many years ago, he came home with me to see my grandfather. It was the first time I had brought a boyfriend to meet him. My grandfather was overjoyed and personally cooked a plate of fried rice, my childhood favorite. But he was old and hadn't cooked in years. He accidentally added way too much salt. The vegetables were even burnt, and the peas were rock hard. Daniel was from the north and never cared for rice. He certainly wouldn't like a dish so lacking in color, aroma, and taste. Before I could think of a way to help him refuse, he started eating it by the mouthful. He praised my grandfather as he ate. Grandpa, this is delicious. I have to come back for more next time. My grandfather ate slowly and a little messily. Daniel kept wiping his mouth for him. On the way home, the first thing he said was, "We should come see your grandpa more often." My heart ached for him. But you don't like rice. And the fried rice today wasn't good at all. He smiled and shook his head. Silly. I'd do anything for more chances to visit your family with you. I think. That day, Daniel won more than just my love. He won the lifelong loyalty of a non-believer. You see, when there is love, even the most disliked fried rice is treated like a treasure, savored with joy. When there is no love, even the most beloved seafood tastes like sawdust, not worth a second glance. After Daniel stormed out that day, he rarely came home. One day, scrolling through my phone, I saw news about his company, Sivan Corp. Chairman Shin secures the city's largest government project. A formidable new talent. Shin's Sivan Corp. Has a promising future. In the photo, Daniel stood on stage, radiant and full of ambition. But the sight of Ella by his side after he stepped down, pouring him tea and fending off toasts, was particularly jarring. I closed the news article and saw another post from Ella. Seriously, I told him not to drink so much, but our big boss Daniel just won't listen. Now I have to be the one to take him back. Angry face. The picture was of a hotel. How ironic. The name of Daniel's company was a combination of both our names. But now, he was in a hotel, cheating on me with another woman. Without hesitation, I headed straight for the hotel. I thought, if I see what I think he'll see, then maybe it's for the best that we separate. Daniel frequented this hotel, so I quickly found his room number. The staff seemed to look at me with furtive glances. I paid it no mind and went upstairs, swiping the key card. As soon as I entered, I saw Daniel's suit jacket tossed carelessly on the floor. Before I could speak, Ella shrieked, "What are you doing here?" Her scream startled Daniel. His eyes, hazy from the alcohol, turned towards me. When he recognized me, he rubbed his temples and said to Ella, Don't be scared. You can leave first. I'll handle this. Ella was reluctant. She shot me a hateful look, stomped her foot, and left. Daniel pulled the covers up to hide his disheveled state and asked impatiently, "What are you doing here?" I gave a self-mocking laugh. "To admire the new horns you've so kindly bestowed upon me." Daniel froze, then flushed with anger. "What nonsense are you talking about? You can see for yourself. Nothing happened between us." I pressed him. "You've already gone on a trip with another woman. You're sharing a room. And you call that nothing happened? What exactly has to happen for you to consider it something?" Daniel sneered. "Still upset I didn't take you on the trip? Don't be difficult. I'll take you next time. I promise." Ella is young and just starting her career. She doesn't have much money, so a trip is a big deal for her. Don't be so petty. Besides, there's really nothing between us. Evelyn, stop being so unreasonable. I pulled up a number from my phone's contact list and showed it to him. You say there's nothing between you. Call HR right now and fire her. Offer the standard severance. Can you do it? Daniel shot up in bed, pointing at me and yelling, "Evelyn, when did you become so vicious? So cruel? Ella is just a young girl from the countryside. If you make me fire her now, how is she supposed to survive in this city?" I laughed coldly. "Daniel, you never used to be one to meddle in other people's business." He raised an eyebrow. "You've been a housewife for so long. You have no idea how important a job is to a woman. Ella is not like you. She's self-reliant, making her own way. Do you understand?" Suddenly, I felt as if all the strength had been drained from my body. In college, we were classmates. We consistently ranked first and second in our class. For every 8 a.m. class, Daniel would have breakfast ready for me. We worked hard together, winning most of the scholarships and honors in our year. Back then, the first thing Daniel would do with his scholarship money was buy me makeup, clothes, beautiful jewelry, and a new phone. Everyone at school said we were a power couple, a perfect match. After he started his business, I didn't stay idle either. I used my professional knowledge to draft proposals for the company late into the night. Sometimes, unable to bear seeing him work overtime, I would stay up all night revising plans before sending them to clients. For the sake of his dream, I gave up my own pursuits. But in the end, Daniel was blaming me for not being able to keep up with him, for not being able to stand by his side as an equal. I thought, it's time to end this. While I was looking for jobs back in my hometown, Daniel didn't contact me at all. Then one day, he suddenly sent me a message. "I have some good news to tell you tonight. Make sure dinner is ready." I actually felt a flicker of anticipation, but when I found out what he wanted to say, I only wished I had cut ties with him sooner. I was such a fool. Truly. I prepared a table full of Daniel's favorite dishes, including a new typhoon shelter shrimp recipe I had learned. I thought, Daniel will definitely love this. The moment Daniel walked in, his face was beaming with undisguised joy. I felt myself being infected by his happiness and asked with a smile, "What's the good news that's made you so happy?" Daniel grabbed my hand. "Baby, haven't you always said you didn't want kids? Ella is pregnant with my child now, and she said she's willing to have the baby for me without asking for any title. It's perfect since you don't want children. But my parents really want me to carry on the family line. This way, we can." I couldn't listen anymore. I stood up and flipped the table. "Daniel, are you insane? You cheat on me, and then you come back and tell me it's good news. Let's get a divorce. You make me sick." Hearing Daniel's sanctimonious words, I felt an overwhelming urge to vomit, and I really did. Hunched over the toilet, Daniel's brow furrowed. He said to me, word by word, with grave seriousness, "Evelyn, can you stop making a scene? You don't want children. But does that mean I and my parents can't have any either? Threatening me with divorce. Do you find that amusing? Let me tell you, you'd better not do anything rash. The baby in Ella's belly is the most important thing to me right now. You have no family left. If you divorce me, where will you go?" Indeed, human relationships always fall prey to the broken windows theory. He used the most hurtful words he could find. After he finished, he ignored me, still heaving over the toilet, and slammed the door as he left. Perhaps it's because I'm getting older, but I keep remembering things from the past. At the New Year's Eve party our freshman year, our class had a gift exchange. By a stroke of luck, Daniel and I drew each other's names. During orientation, Daniel was the student representative. He stood on stage, a picture of youthful confidence. It was love at first sight for me. The gift I had prepared for him was my secret diary of my crush on him and a ring engraved with his name. I nervously handed it to him. He was nervous too, his hands shaking so much that he accidentally dropped it. Daniel carefully picked it up and gently wiped the dust off with his sleeve. Looking back, that was the first and one of the very few times I ever saw him nervous. When he presented his gift, I was stunned. It was a signed jersey from a deceased football star. I knew how much it meant to him. In a way, it was his faith. So I didn't intend to accept it. "That's your most treasured possession," I said. "You should keep it." But Daniel held up my diary and the ring, looked at me, and said, "My most treasured possession is far away, yet right before my eyes." Now, he was saying that the child in another woman's belly was his most important possession. I wandered aimlessly onto the streets. In the 6 years I had been in this city, I had never really taken the time to see it. I had always been rushing, sometimes to deliver a document to ensure his business ran smoothly. Other times, I was racing to buy fresh, cheap groceries to save us money and, more importantly, to keep him healthy. I had never walked the streets like this, without a purpose, without a care, for no one but myself. I looked up at the countless lights of the city. 6 years ago, I believed one of them would be mine. 6 years later, I had lost completely. "Miss, watch out." The anxious shouts of a bystander mixed with the ear-piercing screech of brakes. Before I could react, I lost consciousness. When I woke up again, the first thing I saw was a white ceiling. The pungent smell of disinfectant made me frown. I tried to move, and my whole body felt like it was about to fall apart. Just then, Daniel pushed the door open. Seeing me awake, he rushed over, overjoyed. "Evelyn, you're finally awake. Are you uncomfortable anywhere? I'll get the doctor right away." After the doctor examined me, he simply told me to rest well. A miscarriage from an accident is very hard on the body. You must focus on getting enough nutrition. What? A miscarriage? It turned out I had been 2 months pregnant, because I was always so busy. My period had been irregular. I never even considered it. While I was walking on the street, an out-of-control electric scooter had sped straight towards me. Even though it slowed down at the last second and didn't cause me any other major injuries, the baby was still lost. I had a child, and the child was gone before I even knew. Did it sense that it would have an unhappy family? Is that why it didn't even want to see this world? My heart ached. I closed my eyes. "Thank you, doctor." Daniel looked at me with pity, urgently grasping my hand. "Evelyn, what do you want to eat? I'll go buy it for you." "Evelyn, please don't be too sad. The doctor said you need to watch your emotions. It's all my fault. If I hadn't argued with you, you wouldn't have run out in the middle of the night." "Evelyn, you have no idea how scared I was when I heard you were in the hospital. I was terrified something would happen to you. If anything had happened, what would I do?" I pulled my hand away coldly. "Don't you still have your Ella? She and the baby in her belly are your most important things." Daniel's expression stiffened. "I promise I'll break it off with her. I'll contact HR right now and have them process her resignation. Let's not get a divorce. We'll be good from now on." "Okay." I was too tired to argue. I just turned away and closed my eyes. "I'm tired. I want to sleep." "You can go." Daniel froze. After a long moment, he sighed. "I'll go get you your favorite milk and egg sweet soup. I'll be right back. You get some rest." I said nothing. In this 10-year love, my lover had become unrecognizable, and my child had paid the price with its life. It was time for a new beginning. I had to stay in the hospital for a few more days. Daniel moved me to a VIP room and hired a professional caregiver. He practically moved his office into my hospital room. "Evelyn, be careful. Don't move. Do you need to use the restroom? I'll help you." "Evelyn, I learned how to make a new flavored soup. I'll bring some for you to try later. They say it's very good for women." "Evelyn, do you want to go back and see our old house? When you're feeling a bit better, we'll go back. Then we can go straight to Eston, then to Winton. We'll see all the oceans east, south, north. When you're better, we'll go wherever you want to go, together." He was like an actor in a one-man show, chattering endlessly. Most of the time, I ignored him. He didn't get angry, just continued on his own. "I'm sorry, Evelyn. I know I was out of line before. I'll change. I promise. After a week in the hospital, I felt mostly recovered, except for the occasional headaches. They got worse whenever Daniel was chattering in my ear. When the headaches hit, I would grab whatever was nearby and throw it at him. Get out. Can you please stop talking? You make me sick. But Daniel would just calmly pick up the unbroken items and clean up the mess I had made. It's okay, Evelyn. You can take it all out on me. On the day of my discharge, Daniel brought a chic tweed suit I used to love and handed me a company share transfer agreement. He looked at me earnestly. Evelyn, I was wrong to say you didn't understand the workplace. Now, I'm giving you the whole company. Okay. This style of suit was your favorite when you used to work at the company. I bought several more for you. See if you like them. From now on, I'll listen to you about everything. Just don't leave me, please. I just glanced at it and said nothing. Daniel didn't know that I had stopped liking that style of clothing long ago. Now, I preferred soft sweaters and cardigans. But he seemed to have never noticed. I don't remember when my style changed. Just like I don't know when Daniel became so capable of hurting me. While I was in the hospital, Ella sent me a lot of messages. Do you know what Daniel says about you to me? She sent me screenshots of her chat history with him. I don't know why, but I'm suddenly so annoyed by Evelyn. She just stays home all day doing nothing. So sensitive and suspicious. So I forgot to buy her a ticket for the trip. Can't she just buy one herself? She's been a housewife for so long. Doesn't she even have the money for a plane ticket? Ella, her cooking is terrible. I miss your steamed king crab. Ella, honestly, I don't want to go home at all. I miss the days we were traveling. Ella, I'm sorry about what happened at the hotel today. Evelyn is just too much trouble. You've been wronged. I couldn't even be bothered to read the rest. My head was starting to hurt again. If this were the old me, I probably would have broken down. Why do people just stop loving someone? Was I the only one trapped in the past? But now, I didn't seem to care anymore. It wasn't that I didn't care. It was that caring didn't seem to change anything. I saved the screenshots Ella sent me. I figured they would be useful eventually. After returning home, Daniel had an urgent matter at the company and had to go in. He held me reluctantly. Evelyn, stay here for a bit. When I get back, I'll bring you your favorite sweet and sour pork. I didn't respond. Daniel left. Looking back every few steps, after he was gone, I began to pack up everything in the house. I only packed a few of my favorite knit sweaters into the small suitcase I had brought to Landon with me all those years ago. And from my jewelry box, the silver bracelet my grandfather had left me. When I opened the jewelry box, I saw the rings, necklaces, and gold bracelets Daniel had bought for me in the first 2 years of his business. One for every deal he closed. His eyes had shown then. Evelyn, when the company gets bigger, I'll buy you the most expensive things. But when the company got bigger, the person changed. I left all of those things behind. Our daily necessities at home were once all matching couple sets. Later, as Daniel's social obligations grew and he came home less and less, our things became separate. I gathered everything I had used, packed it up, ready to be thrown away. I then placed the printed divorce agreement and the screenshots from Ella by the entryway. With the small, worn-out suitcase in my left hand and the bag containing the traces of my life in this home in my right, I put on my shoes. The last moment before I stepped out the door, I looked back one last time. The decor, the layout, everything was the same, yet it felt like everything had changed. True departure really is silent. Not long after I left, my phone started ringing incessantly. I glanced at it. Daniel was calling and messaging me frantically. Evelyn, where did you go? Believe me, it'll change. Let's not get a divorce. Okay, I'll make Ella get an abortion right away. I only want a child with you. From now on, I'll do the cooking. I'll handle all the trivial things. You can do whatever you want. Or do you want to travel? Tell me where you want to go. I'll buy the tickets. I won't make a mistake this time. There were many more, but I didn't want to read them. My head was starting to hurt again. I went to the airport. This time, I bought a ticket to Seacliff for myself. The ocean trip you broke your promise for, I'll see it on my own. Handing my ID to the staff, I felt a sense of déjà vu. Things change. People change. And before words can be spoken, tears fall. After checking in, I removed my SIM card, snapped it in half, and threw it into a passing trash can. As the plane took off, I looked at the scenery outside the window. Goodbye, Landon. Goodbye, My 10-year love. After arriving in Seacliff, I rented an apartment and started taking on freelance projects online, and tried to sort out my feelings. I got a new phone number. During the day, I worked. In the evenings, I would take walks by the sea. Life was quiet. Occasionally, I would think of Daniel, but only to wonder why he hadn't sent me the divorce papers yet. One day, I had just finished my last project for the day. My phone suddenly rang. It was an unknown number. I answered. Hello. To my surprise, it was Daniel's mother's voice on the other end. Evelyn. Dear, it's Daniel's mom. When do you have time to come back for a visit? Daniel has completely lost his mind. He's been drinking every day and has started chain-smoking. Daniel didn't smoke because I hated the smell. For my sake, when he was starting his business, he would rather give up big deals with heavy smokers than risk his clothes smelling of smoke and bothering me. He said he would never smoke in his life. But now, it had nothing to do with me. Daniel's mother told me a lot. She said that on the day I left, Daniel dragged Ella to a private clinic and, against her will, forced her to have an abortion. Why did you send Evelyn those screenshots? You malicious woman. No. If this child is born, my Evelyn will hate me forever. Don't even think about it. In the end, he even issued a notice to the entire industry, ruining his own reputation to publicize the scandal and blacklist Ella. With the baby gone and Daniel's attitude, Ella's hopes of marrying into wealth were dashed. So she called the police and had Daniel detained. It was only through the mediation and compensation of Daniel's parents that he was released. After his release, Daniel was a mess. He would sit in the house we used to live in all day, drinking his sorrows away, the whole place thick with smoke and gloom. His parents' attempts to talk to him were useless. I listened, feeling nothing. I just apologized to his mother. Auntie, I'm sorry. I once said I would treat you and Uncle like my own parents, but I have to break that promise. Daniel and I were really over. If I forgive him, who will forgive this useless mother on behalf of my child? Daniel's mother was silent for a long time. Finally, she sighed deeply. My dear girl, where are you? I'll have Daniel sign the divorce papers and send them to you. That we couldn't become family. It just means we weren't fated to be. Hearing this, my head began to ache again. Perhaps it was a side effect of the accident. Or perhaps it was because I didn't rest properly after the miscarriage. It seemed my love had cost me half my life. In the end, I gave her my address. The next time I saw Daniel was one evening when I was walking by the sea. He looked haggard, but had tried to clean himself up, wearing fresh clothes. He saw me and hesitated, then tentatively asked, We've never walked by the sea together. Can we walk for a bit? I didn't refuse. I was so pathetic. I thought, let this belated seaside walk at 28 be a compensation, across time and space, for our 18-year-old selves. We walked in silence. After the walk, we still didn't say a word. Daniel followed me back to my apartment building. Before I went upstairs, I asked, Where are the divorce papers? Daniel looked wounded, his voice breaking. Evelyn, can we really not start over? Are you really not willing to give me another chance? You supported me so unconditionally when I started my business. You were willing to cook for me, write proposals, revise plans. Hearing him try to win me back made my head throb. I cut him off impatiently. Then why didn't you think about that when you were cheating on me? Even if I forgive you, will our dead child forgive you? Daniel was speechless. I didn't want to drag it out. Come back when you have the divorce papers. With that, I turned and went upstairs without looking back. Behind me, Daniel tried to call my name. Evelyn. Evelyn. I never turned around once. That night, a heavy rain fell on Seacliff. Listening to the sound of the rain against the window, I gradually drifted off to sleep. I used to be a little scared of heavy rain. I always thought some monster would appear in the storm and eat me. When I was little, my grandfather would sit by my bed, fanning me with a palm leaf fan, comforting me. My little darling, don't be afraid. Grandpa is here to protect you. When I grew up, Daniel would hold me tight on every rainy night. Evelyn, I promised your grandfather I would protect you, but I can't remember when it started. But Daniel was always out on rainy nights. From being unable to sleep at first, I had now become able to sleep soundly. No one knew of the countless nights I had tossed and turned. It was all in the past. The next day, I was woken by the surprised shouts of the old ladies downstairs. Oh my, young man, How did you get so drenched? Quick, get under an umbrella. I groggily poked my head out the window to see the commotion and saw a pathetic-looking Daniel. He had been standing downstairs all night, in the rain. In the misty Seacliff morning, there was a chill in the air. I saw Daniel, soaked to the bone. Shivering slightly, I threw on a coat and went downstairs. Standing at the entrance of the building, Daniel's eyes lit up when he saw me. Evelyn, you're awake. Are you hungry? I cut him off. Where are the divorce papers? All the words he wanted to say were choked back. The light in his eyes slowly died. Evelyn, I should have known. You're the kind of girl who never gives up on what she's decided. It was like that when you helped me build my business from nothing. And it's like that now. Leaving without a trace now that you don't love me anymore. Daniel looked down and pulled a document from inside his coat. The rain last night must have scared you, didn't it? I'm sorry, Evelyn. I've signed the divorce papers. Honestly, I didn't want to give up. But my mom asked me the other day, what would the 18-year-old Daniel do if he met you now? I thought about it for a long time. And I think the 18-year-old Daniel would let the Evelyn who no longer loves him go free. The rain had been torrential last night, but the document, protected by a folder and Daniel's body, was completely unharmed. We finalized the procedures that day. Daniel had redrafted the agreement, splitting the assets 70-30 in my favor. He sold the house and the cars and transferred the money, based on the market value of the company and properties, to me. The day I received the money, I accepted an offer from a university abroad. When I graduated from college, I had given up a spot in an exchange program to help him start his business. Clearly, I had bet on the wrong horse, but it didn't matter. I thought, it's never too late to start. Standing by the window of a guest house on the North Sea coast, I saw the news from Landon. Due to a break in the funding chain, ShinCorp was forced to sell all its shares and assets, officially declaring bankruptcy. Overnight, Daniel was saddled with enormous debt, with no chance of recovery. When a reporter interviewed him, he said only one thing, Evelyn, it turns out that without you, I truly am nothing. I glanced at it and closed the page. Then I replied to an email from my professor abroad. Thank you, Professor. I've reviewed the study plan and can begin in a couple of days. Looking out at the sea, I swirled the red wine in my glass. Some people find love, some watch the sea at night, and some break through the thorns to finally see the dawn. And so, my 10-year love story came to an end. For the rest of my days, my life is for my own joy.